zero emission vehicles have killed these two facilities. Irwindale Speedway and Irwindale Drag Strip, located in LA, California, have been shut down as of the end of the 2024 season. That's the end of them. So FD and all the drag racing that goes on here, the home of FD, the Speedway, the drag strip, no more after this year, and EVs are the cause. And now I'm going to connect the dots for you. So these two facilities were sold quite a few years ago, and then the land was leased back for use as, racing facilities, motorsports park. And the reason that I think now they have pulled the plug on it is a few reasons. Obviously, the land is very expensive and it's very valuable in LA, and two big pieces of land already graded, all that good stuff. But these are about 35 miles from the port of Long Beach, which, if you don't know, that port is basically the largest shipping port in the Western Hemisphere. So 10 million containers pass through there every year, and that number is going up. Coal, cars, fluids, we're just talking containers. There's so much that passes through that port. So about 40% of all U.S. imports come through the port of LA. Now, why am I talking about the port of LA? I'm talking about drag strips. The reason is because there's a new California law, Carb. Carb isn't new, but in 2021 it was added that any truck operating in the port has to be zero emissions starting in 2035. But by 2024, any new truck has to be zero emissions. So old ones are already grandfathered in, but in the next 10 years, they're not going to be. So, you know what that means? That means that, big pieces of land like this, 35 miles from the port, are valuable. Why they're valuable is because you need a large switching spot, whatever you want to call it, the transfer yard. So an electric truck will go to the port of LA, pick up some, container cars, whatever it be, and has to drive 35 miles, roughly. There's no exact zone, but they're estimating it'll be about 25 mile zone where no diesel trucks can operate at the port. So the zero emission vehicle has to now drive out of the port, stop at a transfer yard, switch to a diesel truck, and then drive out of California and across to wherever it's going, whether it be, another state or whatever. So that law basically made spots of land like this, however many acres it is, very, very enticing because it's 25 miles. It's 25 miles is the zone that they think it's going to be. So 35 miles. You need to be as close as possible because these EVs might not have much range in the next 10 years. But not even just the next 10 years. I mean, very soon they're going to have to start switching over because no new vehicles. So we're running out of time, basically. And then on top of that, this facility will probably have to be used to charge these electric trucks. So it's going to be an interesting thing to see happen. I think it's going to be very sad and frustrating for a lot of people when they potentially see this turned into a facility for zero emission vehicles. This is kind of just my speculation here from what I've heard and talked to some people local in the area. But it's looking pretty spot on because these laws are about perfect. So they're horrible laws, but they're about perfectly matched up to a timeline here. So it's interesting. Carb laws strike again. Electric vehicles strike again. Zero emission vehicles strike again. And it's very sad.